Hey folks, how we doing today? Well, it is downright hot, but it is starting to cloud over. Looks like we're going to get a good rain. I can imagine we getting a pretty good storm here shortly because it is black outside. When on my way home, I stopped getting oil change. I was like, gotta have an oil change because that truck was down to 29%. I was like, oh Lord, I gotta get that changed. So I hurried up and got her changed and got home, and I was like, I'm really needing to do some projects because I got some stuff I want to do in the barn because I gotta get swing sets made. And hold on, stand by, hold that thought. Yeah, what you want? I can do that. I'll get back with you. All right, so I just got orders sitting down from headquarters. My general, who's in charge of me, said she saw 2 mourning doves out on the front porch this morning. She said they had nowhere to go and was sitting on the porch. She wanted me to make a dove box. Well, I did a little scrounging on the internet and found up with a design, and I'm going to throw my own little spin on it. So stand by and I'll show you what I come up with. So here I found 2 cedar boards about 4 foot long. I don't need both of them, but they're grayed out. I had them outside. They were on my I don't know, it was an old barn piece that I had. They're not really barn wood because I built this thing about 3 years ago, but they age gray. They were up closer to the roof line of the thing I made, and I figured they'd make pretty good little birdhouses, so I'm gonna use them. And I think it can give a little cover to the doves being they're gray. So I'm gonna cut these first 2 boards at 11 3/4. Those are going to be for my roof. Now, I'd still probably put 45s and give it a little taper on the end, but I haven't decided what I was going to. I got to see what kind of angle I come up with first. And I figured the floor is going to be 4.5, maybe 4 3/4 inches wide. And my 2 sides. Those I marked at 5.5 inches. There's going to be a couple more little pieces added on, but I'm going to do them once I get to the point that I want. As you can see, I got 2 11 3/4 inch boards, 1 4 3/4 inch board, and 2 5.5 inch boards by 5.5. So, when I find out what the angle is, I will let you know. Stand by. I cut it at a 45-degree angle, and I cut 1/2 inch of it off. There should be a roof line at a 45-degree angle, which is going to give me my top. I wanted to keep the only reason I didn't go with the square and do the 90, because I wanted to keep the gray look. So that way it's gray all the way through, and I don't see that white that would show up if I did it that way. That white really shows up. So I decided to do, with that cut, I figured I might as well just do a 45. It'll gray up over time anyway, but I wanted it to have that 45 look. So I don't know what I'm going to do on the ends. I might leave them just regular plain Jane at the moment. But I'm going to play around with the other part of this to get it to work right. I decided to make the bottom piece a little longer, and I'm going to end up putting 45s at the bottom of the sides. So stand by. I'll show you how this is going to work. So I cut a 1/2 inch off of each bottom side. So when this sits, the gray is going to be sitting toward the outside, which will look really cool. So it's going to be sitting like this because it's going to be grayer. and that white side's going to be buried on the bottom. You're never going to see it, or this cut, because the angle. So, let me find a tape measure. So, I want this board at 14 and a half, which is right about there. Move my tape so I don't cut it in half, which I've done before, which I felt really stupid. Alright, cut one and done. There we go. This is the bottom piece now. It is now 14 and a half inches long. Now I'm debating whether I want to put a taper on that edge so that when the rain hits it, it'll run off, because it's going to stick out farther than my base now. And I'll show you what that's going to look like. So, when it all gets glued up, that's the shape it's going to take. Don't mind the little 4x4 pumpkins I got there holding it up. I'm just using them to hold up the piece till I can get it set up. I wanted to make sure, I wanted to see what it would look like before I started. So, stand by. I'm going to put you back in the frame, and I'm going to get to putting this together. I think it's going to turn out pretty slick. Stand by. So now I've already glued it. I'm going to end up putting some nails in her to hold her. One side and this side. So I'll get my pumpkins out of the way. There we go. We have the bottom and the top on now. Now is where the fun part comes in. Time for a little L decoration. So stand by. I'm going to cut some little boards and I'll show you what I'm going to do. So I cut out a board for the back side back here. So when it sits up, it'll have a board right through here. I cut it off the angle or whatever, what this was. I just traced it on the back side of that board and I cut it off. It looks just like that. So I got that gray side facing in. This will get screwed to the tree or up here. I don't know how we're going to do it yet. I want to put a couple little railings or a little piece up here in the front, maybe a couple of them, and we'll go from there. Stand by. There you got a completed shot of her. I think she looks pretty good. I ended up having to put little strips in the front and a full piece in the back, and I will give you a measurements list at the end of this video. So it was a fun project. I did enjoy this one. It was interesting. I did find a little bit about doves that I didn't know, that they like the open nesting, not the closed nesting. I was surprised with that. So I let it have openings on both sides, but I think you can mount it either off that back panel, it's still where the opening's at, or you can hang it from the top. If I was going to hang it from the top, I'd rather use screws and brad nails that I use. So take that into consideration when you make it. If you really want to make sure that I don't think it's going to go anywhere, it's nailed too much, but if you're really unsure, put some screws in it, and it's not going to hurt the looks any bit. It'll make it safer, and I'm probably going to do that anyway, but right now I'm out of screws, so I just went with brad nails and glue. I'm pretty sure she ain't going to go anywhere, but we'll just go with that for now. Anyway, I hope y'all are having a great night. Hey y'all, this is Brad from Orders from Headquarters. If you like this video, like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. It always helps out when you guys do that. It's been a great day, and I hope you had fun building this as much as I did. And I'm telling you, you're going to have some doves out there. They're going to like this house. I've seen them out in different places. I've seen them for sale. I don't know what they're worth. I'm not planning on selling this one, but I'm assuming you could get probably between 15 to 20 bucks for them. I didn't really look on Etsy, but I'm sure you could get it for that. You could just look it up, see what you think. But I think you could build these really cheap. And you can use pallet wood, you can use whatever scrap one by you have, paint them. I don't know. Either way, I like the natural look. I usually go with cedar or pine. If I make a pine, I know it's not going to last for more than a couple years. I can live with it. I like the cedar. I just didn't have anything that wide, and I really didn't want to glue a bunch of it together today. So, time's of the essence. It's getting hot and muggy, and I think we're going to catch that storm anytime soon now. I'm seeing a little dust fall from my ceiling. I don't know what that is. Might have some ghosties up there for all I know. I don't know. I'm just kidding. But anyway, I want you guys to have a good night. Be safe. Semper Fi.